Live. Hello, Chris Oldham here. I'm chat aware, whatever. I can't see the chat or anything. I'm just gonna put this out here. I tried to record it and put it up, and it won't let me. So I'm just gonna live stream it, and it'll save it to YouTube. So without further ado, I'm gonna get started here. What I got is the title is a hypothesis research. I'm just thinking out loud about some stuff I've seen and learned. Now, the first thing I want to do here is go to this lady's channel. I'm not going to stream her stuff. I don't have any permission, but I can sure look at her channel to illustrate to you the information of who this is and where I've got the idea, the information. And it's going to take a minute because my Chromebook runs a little slow because she's old. This lady is Delora O'Brien. Her show is Off the Cuff, her channel, and she does an amazing job at research and some other things. But I'm going to show you down here. This here is the video that got me thinking, about what I'm about to show you. And basically, she says she says there's three things that she knows of that destroys families, homes, relationships, jobs in this world we live in today. That's Jesus, Trump, and flat Earth. People can't hear it. They will argue their point or they'll walk away. They won't hear that the Earth ain't round. They won't hear it if they've been taught. And she goes to explaining why. That there's this thing called cognitive dissonance. And I'm going to just show you the meaning of that word that I looked up. Cognitive dissonance is a state of discomfort that occurs when someone's thoughts contradict each other. This can include ideas, beliefs, or knowledge of one's own behavior. If you grew up thinking 2 plus 2 equals 4 all your life, and then I come along and said 2 plus 2 is not 4 because 2 equals 1, and I didn't even think of that. There's a way to. I learned how 2 can equal 1. But it's such a long process, I forgot I could. It's on the internet, and I never did look. But it just bear with me. It's the whole idea of no, it's 2 plus 4. I will die believing it's 2 plus 4. Well, here's the deal, and there's a thing called contempt prior to investigation, which is kind of what this is. This is more of a scientific way of saying it's your brain's little self-survival mechanism. That's the way she explained it. But basically, you get the point that you're not going to just believe because I told you that 2 plus 2 doesn't equal 4, that it could equal 3, it could equal 5 or 6, or 3 or anyway, depending on it's just math. Anyway, and so, flat Earth, and here's my opinion. I'm not so sure that how round the Earth is or how flat. I'm not sure how flat it is, but I know with further investigation, it might not be so round as I thought it was. With that being said, she got to talking about that the way things are today and the information we have on the internet now, and that so many people are coming to the realization that we might have been duped a little bit. And people don't like being duped. There's a fear of being duped, and it's not pretty to some folks. They take it real personal. And so basically that let's say they've told us things that we've called on but they what they have done, it seems like history is repeating itself. There's this thing I've noticed where, and it comes up all over YouTube, some channels about history repeating itself. It just seems that way. A lot of things aren't what they seem. It seems that way, but it could be a thing that they like to do that it pretty much absolves them of their responsibility for the whole thing by saying, we showed you what is up. You saw it, so you condoned it because you didn't say anything about what we did or said or showed. And that is a thing called karmic retribution. Karmic retribution is a Buddhist philosophy that states that every action has consequences, and evil deeds cause suffering. Suffering is not punishment, but rather an inevitable result of evil actions. The Sanskrit word for action is karma, and the belief in retributive karma is that some hardships, misfortunes, or disadvantages are consequences of sinful actions that we have performed at some earlier time, often in a previous life, or time and place in history. Executed actions of an individual affect the individual and the life he or her lives. Sound close to what I'm trying? The intentions of an individual affect the individual and the life he or her lives. According to this law, whatever thoughts or energy you put out, you get back, good or bad. In order to get what you want, you have to embody and be worthy of those things. Well, that gets to talking about the upside. Anyway, then there's a thing called critical thinking that will basically to counteract the cognitive dissonance. And I thought I put it in here somewhere. There's Color Arkansas National Weather Service. What time? That ain't where I put it. I thought I put it on my this. I love when I put something somewhere and now I can't find it. Community guidelines. Anyway, never mind. I'm going to just critical thinking is basically. Make sure I'm still running here. I might be talking to air. 8 minutes. I'm good. Okay. And I said, if anyone's in my chat, this hi. I'm just, you can go back and from the start and catch what's going on. But basically, I'm doing this little thing here. All right. So back to what I was saying. This after the critical thinking, the way I learned it in college. And that's what I was going to do. I was going to do this. We'll look at critical thinking, meaning they told me in college up here, I can think about a glass of water, so I can imagine in my head a glass of water. The second step in critical thinking is to think about me thinking about that glass of water. In my head, imagine me thinking about that glass of water. And then the third step of the critical thinking process is to kind of imagine me stepping out of myself, turning around, looking at me, thinking about the glass of water. So third step of critical thinking is thinking of that glass of water. And Google AI puts it this way. Critical thinking is the process of using and evaluating reasons to assess statements, assumptions, and arguments. It involves using information to form judgments and make decisions. It takes a little humility to myself, okay, to realize that I'm not King Chris, that I don't run anything or own anyone. So therefore, I can take some humility, humble myself, stop my head, and listen to your side of it. Actually, give you permission to sell me your product or your reason why, whatever it is. Why do you suppose Vince McMahon in 2007 sold Donald Trump? Champ, you listening, son? Sold Trump WWE Monday Night Raw. I forget for how much, $1 million, maybe $1 billion. I can't remember how much, and I'll tell you. I can show you the article. I don't think it says how much, but here it is. This is what got me thinking anyway. This lady starts talking about this stuff and how the karmic retribution of these people, and I don't know, she had mentioned Trump. She had mentioned the cognitive dissonance, and next thing, and I thought to myself, well, and it always, Linda McMahon, hang on, before I go to that article, Linda McMahon was in Trump's cabinet. And I had a hard time finding it exactly what her position was, but I found it because she left his cabinet to run for office somewhere, or she had run off. This is Vince McMahon's wife, Linda McMahon. Vince McMahon owns the WWE. That's wrestling, folks that don't know. And they are $1 billion corporation. These are big people, billionaires. See? Trump allies have spent someone to chair the super PAC, which officials view as a key plank in the president's re-election campaign. The president's top aides believe they will need to raise around $1 billion with a B. That's $1,000 million, people, and say the super PAC will be a major part of the effort. Brian Walsh, don't know him, America First Action's president, declined to comment. That's a whole other thing. But Linda McMahon is stepping down as head of Small Business Administration to chair, which is Trump's cabinet, the pro-Trump super PAC America First Action, according to 3 people familiar with the move. And when was the date on 3/29/19? So she was in his, because I'd seen a poster. This was I want to say it was an ad for the Epoch Times, and I paused it. I blew up the screen because they were showing the cabinet. They had a poster of Trump's cabinet, and I seen a familiar face on there with Linda McMahon, and I thought it was she was the head of tourism or something. She was the head of the Small Business Administration under the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Well, it's under Trump, but anyway, it was part of his cabinet. Well, anyway, because look here, they're all friends, see, and what I'm getting to the important that it all comes together once we get here. Donald Trump is long. Slow down, Chris. Okay. Donald Trump has a long, strange history with Vince McMahon, the McMahon family, and World Wrestling Entertainment. Perhaps nothing stranger than the time the Donald fictitiously bought Raw and temporarily sent the WWE stock into a tailspin. I still think it's funny. I'm going to skip down to that part. They've been together. It's all started with WrestleMania. Trump used Trump Plaza in Atlantic City to host WrestleMania 4. And then 5, and by the time 7 rolled around, they it didn't do so well, as you can see. High rollers, it turned the casino and gamblers about took it over. 5 is noteworthy because it was one of the largest draws in the early pay-per-view era, while that had everything to do with the year-long story of Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage finally going at it, and Hogan regained his WWF championship, and little to do with Donald Trump. High ratings, buy rates when it comes to Trump's involvement with the WWE. Going down here, let's see. While Trump was shown ringside at a number of WWE events, WrestleMania 7, he didn't emerge as an actual character until January 2007. I was watching it that night. When WrestleMania season in full swing, the future president of the United States interrupted Vince McMahon on Fan Appreciation Night. Vince, you claim you tell your audience that what they want, what they like, and all that nonsense. They want that from the Titantron, big old fathead. Who knows more about value than me, Vince? I remember that. The crowd hated him, even with Vince McMahon in full evil Mr. McMahon mode. The crowd hated the Donald. They called him that back then, the Donald, significantly more. Even as he showered them with money from the ceiling, some of which was real money. The crowd continued to crap all over him. I remember a guy in the crowd wiped his butt with it. They caught that. They wiped his butt and threw it on the ground because they didn't like him. You must have, what is this? Page unresponsive? Why? See, my Chromebook is so slow. All right. Let's see, there was a contract signing for WrestleMania 23, and they were supposed to, Bobby Lashley and Umaga was going to wrestle with Steve Austin. Stone Cold Steve Austin was going to be the ref, and I see who was for who. I can't remember. Donald instilled fan favorite. All right, Bobby Lashley was going to be for Trump, and Umaga for McMahon. And you might have some support from this audience, but 95% of them are idiots, is what McMahon's. All right, let me just read this. This confrontation led to another, which ultimately led to the Battle of the Billionaires at WrestleMania 23. The contract signing was an excruciatingly dull 22-minute talking segment that did feature this Vince McMahon line, "You might have some support from the audience, but 95% of them are idiots." While the two didn't really actually wrestle, the Donald instilled a fan favorite, Bobby Lashley, to fight for him while McMahon went. Umaga's not with us anymore. With Stone Cold Steve Austin as the ref, promised the loser's head would be shaved. WrestleMania 23 set a record with 1.2 million pay-per-view buys, a record that stood until Rock and John Cena broke it several years ago. That has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. This brings us to the night Donald Trump bought Raw on June 15th, 2009. Vince McMahon opened Raw with the perplexing announcement that he sold his flagship show. More perplexing was the announcement that it was Donald Trump who was now in charge. And I don't think this says it, but Champ, if I'm wrong, man, somebody, if I'm wrong, put it in the comment section. Put it anywhere on here. It'll save it. I believe we put up with an entire year, if not two, of this anonymous general manager. And it was every Monday Night Raw, the show would start, and Michael Cole, the announcer, would get up there, and he would stand at a podium with a laptop, or iPad, a tablet. Gosh. And he would read, this is the anonymous general, per the anonymous general manager, tonight's main event will be blah, blah. And just tell them how it is. I can't even remember who or what, man. I was pretty ripped in those days, kind of didn't even think about it. It's vague in my mind right now. However, we went through, I personally was about to quit watching wrestling over it because it got stupid and it was insulting my intelligence. So far, sound familiar to our country today? This what got me thinking. Then comes along, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, we're going to say he sold hit the Monday Night Raw to Donald Trump. All right. You never really showed your appreciation for the Raw audience, Trump said. Never once did I see that appreciation. I'm going to do stuff that's never been done before, never been seen before. My first act as owner is to do something unprecedented, something you were too cheap and selfish to make happen, Vince. For the first time in its 17-year history, next week's Raw will be presented live to the USA commercial free. Commercial free. And guess what, Vince? I'm personally going to be at Raw next week to run things the way I want to see them run, meaning the right way. I'm not going to say a word. It's highlighted. You can see it. Please read it. Read it out loud to yourself. Okay. Again, it's just the opinion of the guy behind the curtain here. Following week, Monday Night Raw did its highest ratings of 7 years. Must attribute that to the commercial-free aspect of the show. It's impossible to ignore Trump's involvement. Then something funny happened. The WWE and its television partner, the USA Network, issued a press release, a very real press release touting the sale of Raw. Remember, this is a storyline for a television show. But McMahon couldn't help himself and tried to take it a step further. Keep that in the back of your head as we go along here. That press release and the perception, I want to say precipitation, but that press release and the perception that Vince McMahon had put Donald Trump in charge sent the WWE stock plummeting. It dropped 7% in the first few hours, which is bad. Real bad. The stock drop stunned the WWE to the point issuing a second press release stating the first release and the sale were all part of the storyline. Kayfabe, time out. Hit the brakes, dump the clutch. No. Okay. The following week, Trump would sell Monday Night Raw show back to Vince, and the entire storyline was dropped. They not tell it in here, but he sold it to him for 3 times the amount he bought it for. When you think about it, oh, wait, no, I'm about just now. Think of all that, and now pay close attention to what this says. This is the end of it. In 2013, Donald Trump was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. Right? During McMahon's induction of Trump, he dropped this gem on us. When you think about it, crap. Come on, you sucker! I'm trying to highlight it because it's big. Think of it. Never mind. Quit. When you think about it, only second to me, Vince McMahon, Donald might very well be a great president for the United States. I'm going to say it again. When you think about it, second only to me, Donald might very well be a great president of the United States. All of this I've just showed you hit me like that. 1 o'clock in the morning trying to go to bed when I'm watching the rest of this woman tell me what did I do? This woman, no, there it is. Shh. Y'all, I'm done. I can't take it no more. This whole live stream thing, man, is just messed up. I hit the wrong button. I'm sorry. Sorry. I'm sorry you had to put up with all my shenanigans. I don't know what to say anymore. Well, I hope y'all have a great day. Remember, Jesus loves you. So do I. Go out there and have a great day. Now, and then you hit, there's a button, you stop this thing, and I don't know how. Where is it? I'm looking. I end stream. Oh, man. Have a great day.